This is a familiar feeling. This takes me back to The Last of Us Part 2. An important story, but not a feel-good one. Gunther and John Cena. Listen, it was a great match. I had to rewatch it because I could not go off of my initial reaction or my initial feelings. Streaming at the same time and trying to talk with chat, focus on a million different things. I knew I needed to rewatch it because what was in my brain didn't actually happen. I had in my brain that Gunther worked harder during the tournament than he did facing John Cena. Watching that back, I was just wrong. There were a ton of back and forths. They each had their moment, and it was a brutal match, a good match. A couple of instances, I counted them. In a row, Gunther made 5 clotheslines until John Cena finally ducked and started his turn. Where it lost me and where I started to have super negative feelings about it was all of the sleepers. 6 in a row. I'm not exaggerating. I am not being dramatic. 6. I am not a fan of that type of wrestling. And if you are, that's fantastic. And I'm happy for you. But I started to get a sour feeling during that. And then, of course, that is when the infamous tap out happened. So I was already feeling negative. So I did not have good feelings about how it ended. Sleeping on it. Thinking on it. Do I understand what they were trying to do and what story they were trying to tell? Yes. In a way, it is poetic. I understand that. However, I also understand why people don't like it. It was such a confusing ending. The smile on John Cena's face and the lack of struggle in that chokehold. Now, like I said, I understand what they were trying to say. After 6 sleepers, yeah, I think John Cena realized his time is up. Gunther's time is now. So he tapped out of wrestling as a whole. Now, one can understand that and simultaneously not like it. I missed the majority of John Cena's career. I started watching 3 years ago. So yes, I don't have a leg to stand on in this argument. These are just my own thoughts and feelings on it as a current fan and a current viewer. I thought it was the wrong choice. I don't subscribe to this weird unwritten rule that when you retire, you have to go out on your back. You have to lose. In some instances, sure. Absolutely. But John Cena, he could have easily won his last match and still put Gunther over and still made a great heel of Gunther because Gunther is good. Gunther's good at what he does. He is a good villain. He knows how to play that part and he plays it so well. And that being said, I do believe that makes Gunther the perfect last opponent for Cena. Because whoever it was going to be, I don't think a lot of people were going to be happy that John Cena lost. On the other hand, personally, I don't think it's about John Cena losing. I think it's about the way it went down. Because regardless of the story they were trying to tell, I don't think it quite landed the way they were hoping, maybe. I also don't think that it helps that most of the farewell tour didn't really go how it was supposed to. Like with his whole heel turn and The Rock and all of that story, they scrapped it almost immediately. We never saw The Rock again. Like, I will stand 10 toes down saying that we did not get that story that we were supposed to. Things happened, audibles had to be called, things had to be rewritten. And I don't think they recovered from it well. And there's so much of the story that we missed, and then it just kind of became a scramble. And as a viewer, I'm pretty disappointed with John Cena's farewell tour. No fault of his own. It was always fun to see him, and I enjoyed this last year with him. I don't have the same emotional ties that a lot of you do. So I am also trying to be empathetic to your feelings. Like, I totally get it. It's hard to say goodbye. And if you grew up watching him, I understand where you're coming from of just not quite ready. And I don't think you ever will be or ever would have been. So I think regardless of how it ended, unless it was a win, maybe. But then you might have some people out there calling him Cena Hogan or whatever. I don't think that's true, but there would be a few, there would be, there always is. So any kind of loss, I think it was going to not go over super well. Because I think deep down, people just aren't ready. They're not ready to say a final goodbye to John Cena in the WWE. And that's fair, and that's fine. It's just something to recognize of, you're not going to please everybody, and you'd be a fool to try. A lot of people are blaming Triple H, and I don't know what the writer's room looks like. I don't know whose decisions these were. A lot of people are saying this is what Cena wanted. Cena made this decision. Cena has said in interviews that he's doing what they want him to do. Who knows? Who knows? At the end of the day, though, I feel like Cena was probably okay with it. I don't want to speak for him. I have no idea. He probably is. He's just that kind of guy that isn't going to focus on the negatives. And he's going to be grateful for everything he's ever got in every opportunity, right? That's just John Cena. But Triple H got a lot of hate there, a lot of boos, a lot of FUs, and a bunch of stuff. And I don't know whose idea this was. But I do think it kind of missed the mark, even if you fully understand what they were trying to say. I just don't think it landed quite the way they wanted it to. And I think it's okay to not like how it ended. It's totally okay. If you loved how it ended, that's okay too. That it truly is okay. And Gunther throughout the match, and leading up to it, Gunther did say, essentially, watch how I'm going to end him. Watch how it's going to happen. Like, he was telling us without telling us. And then all throughout the match, he was telling the ref to ask him. Like, he wanted John to give up. It just, I don't know. How do you feel, and what are you supposed to do watching your childhood hero who always, always said never give up. Never give up. And a tap out comes off as a giving up. I just don't know. I don't know how good of an idea that was. I think this is going to be something that we'll be talking about for a while, and years down the road, they're going to make documentaries on this. It'll probably be an Unreal episode. And I hope it is. I would love to see their thought process on how they got here and what their vision of it was and how it was going to go. But I think right now people are just in the initial knee-jerk reaction. Like I said, my knee-jerk reaction was I hated it. But after sleeping on it and thinking on it and trying to, be more thoughtful on it, I understand the ending. I still don't know how much I like it, because I do believe there was an ending that John Cena could have won and still passed the torch to Gunther, still, made Gunther come out looking stronger than ever, which, I mean, we all already see Gunther as strong. I don't know a single person who doesn't, but he is the ultimate heel now. And I think maybe a little bit of the disconnect is heels are so popular right now. We kind of forget that you're not supposed to like the heels. They're supposed to be the bad guy. But in speaking for myself, I find them more interesting. Their characters are usually more interesting to me. So I tend to like the heels more. But we forget, we're supposed to not like the heels. They are supposed to be the bad guy. And like I said, Gunther, he gets it. Gunther makes you not like him. And that's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. So yes, when he was delivering all of those sleepers, it made me feel a negative feeling because I didn't like it. I was getting mad at Gunther because he was doing that. But that's what it's supposed to make you feel. The sports entertainment world is supposed to make you feel things, right? And I don't think any of us could argue that last night made us feel things. Whether it made you angry, whether it made you upset, or happy, or excited, whatever it was, it made you feel something. And yeah, I think for the majority of us, it didn't make us feel good. It did not make us happy and have those feel-good feelings of the WWE that we're used to feeling. It made us feel more sad and more upset and kind of disappointed and shocked and let down. But not every story can be a feel-good one, you know? Sometimes the hero loses. And I think that's what this story was. The hero lost. And I think it just hits more home and hits harder because we know it's his last match. And some of you think that he's going to be back. I think I will stand on, this is it. I feel like John Cena is a man of his word. And I think he means it when he says he will not get back in the ring. And I would hope not, because if I was somebody who bought tickets to see that, if it being advertised of his last match and then like WrestleMania comes around and John Cena's there, I would be a little upset. Paying those ticket prices. Yeah, I think John Cena is done in the ring. I hope he's not done with the WWE as a whole. It would be cool to see him back in some way, shape, or form, but I don't think we'll see him in the ring again. But I think that's what's hitting so hard is it is goodbye. And for everyone that has grown up with Cena or has been watching since he came into the WWE, that's a lot to feel. And so him not only losing, but tapping out the way he did, it's going to elicit some kind of negative feeling. And that's, to me, that's valid and that's fair. So I don't know if this landed the way they wanted it to. I don't know if people just need a little bit of time to kind of come to terms with it, process it, think on it, and then realize that it wasn't that bad of an ending. For me, it was just all of the sleepers. That's what took me out of it. Like I said, just because I don't like that style of wrestling, but I understand its necessity in the world. It's not my favorite. So the series of events that happened leading up to the tap out, I was already in a sour mood by that time. And then I was just kind of confused because like I noticed the smile on his face and like it just, I don't know, because I also don't like to be like, well, it didn't end how I expected it to end. And so now I'm upset because I hate when people do that, for one. It's like you fantasy book it in your brain, and then when it doesn't happen like that, you get upset and you think that they're wrong, but just because it didn't happen the way you wanted it to doesn't make it bad. I guess what I'm trying to say is like it's not necessarily bad, but they probably could have done something different. It's hard. It's hard to tell and it's hard to say. I think this reaction was going to happen in some capacity no matter what. So I will say they need to change Gunther's theme. I know they just changed it, but boy, towards the end, it starts sounding like a Disney princess song, and it does not fit Gunther, especially now that he is heel. It doesn't match the character. we go from Jaws to Disney Princess. So that's just my own little thought there. Take it or leave it. I also don't like that Jey Uso tapped out Gunther in like a second. Like, got the hold on and Gunther tapped out immediately. Again, I just feel like things were fumbled somewhere. I don't hate that Jey tapped out Gunther. I just don't think the story went the way it was supposed to. Things got cut short. I could be just totally off base and purely speculative at that point, but something felt off from Jey tapping him out to Gunther winning back the belt. I still believe it's so Goldberg could have the title shot for his last match. But again, I'm just speculating. I don't actually know. That's just kind of what it feels like. And leading up to where we are now, it just, things that happen don't make sense anymore. It's just like, what even was that? You know, like Brock Lesnar completely squashing John Cena at WrestlePalooza. There were just some decisions made along the way that are just like, why? What was that even? Like, so I don't know. If anybody else has a retirement tour, I hope it is handled a little better. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's week in, week out. Things change. People are available. People are unavailable. Things, you have to adjust and adapt. I think they did their best. I enjoyed John Cena for this last year. He did an amazing job with everything he was handed. I never felt like he phoned it in. He showed up, did his job, and he did it well. He entertained us. He upset us. He broke our hearts. He made us happy and excited. He did it all. And you know, the ending tribute to him, that's what got me. That's what made me cry. That video package was very sweet, and all of those people coming out, you can just tell that he touched a lot of lives and he made an impact on so many people. And I hope he felt that, and I hope he knows how appreciated he is and loved he is. You know, I wish nothing but the best for him in his retirement. I can't wait to see what he does next. I enjoy his movies. I enjoy hearing him speak. He's such an interesting person and such a good person. I guess all there's left to say is thank you, John Cena.